Hello everyone, this is Showtime 112. This is our third video about the Ogaden War, which took place in late 1970s between Ethiopia and Somalia. We have already given the background story with the focus on air forces of the two countries, but if you haven't seen the previous videos, or if you forgot, we will give a brief summary here. After World War II, Ethiopia became a close ally of the United States, and their air forces relied on American aircraft such as F-86 and F-5. It was never a large force in numbers, but it focused on quality. The small cadre of pilots were extensively trained, mostly in the US. After acquiring F-5 Freedom Fighter in the 1960s, Ethiopia ordered the more advanced F-5E Tiger in 1970s. But the country's relationship with the US was growing colder after a military coup in 1974, and only 8 F-5Es were delivered in 1976. Before the conflict with Somalia began, Ethiopia was dealing with insurgency in some of its provinces. This included the Ogaden province, populated with many ethnic Somalis. Somalia, on the other hand, was supported by the USSR prior to the conflict, and its air force operated Soviet MiG-17s and MiG-21s. The pilots received their training in the Soviet Union, but the level of training was significantly inferior to that given to Ethiopian pilots. Somali government decided that July 1977 was the right moment to attack Ethiopia and take control of the Ogaden province, which they believed was rightfully theirs. Initially, they were very successful and advanced deeply into Ethiopian territory. Somali MiG-17s managed to shoot down an Ethiopian C-47, while ground forces shot down one of the F-5s. But then, Ethiopian Air Force, with their superior training, demonstrated that quality should always be the preferred choice over quantity. Only 8 F-5Es managed to establish air superiority over the battlefield against no less than 29 MiG-21s. The pilot who emerged as the top scorer was Lagesse Teferra. Until 1st of September 1977, he was officially credited with 3.5 kills. In other forces, he would have had 5.5 because on 25 July, 2 Somali MiG-21s he fought against collided with each other. This could have counted as 2 maneuvering kills. On 1st of September 1977, Lagesse Teferra and Ashinafi Gebretsadik were tasked with attacking one of Somali columns advancing on the city of Jijiga. Ground control then advised them of 2 Somali MiG-21s approaching the area. 2 Ethiopian pilots then entered a combat spread formation and started looking for the enemy fighters. Lagesse Teferra was the first to spot the 2 MiGs. He engaged one of them, and the 2 pilots entered a wide turn. At the same time, Ashinafi Gebretsadik lost sight of Lagesse Teferra. He didn't see where the other MiG was either, so he performed the egg maneuver at 4G. This enabled him to observe the situation below him, but also made it impossible for an R3S missile to hit him due to the weapon's G limit. Midway through the maneuver, Ashinafi sighted the MiG below him and dived in his direction. Somali pilot responded with a climb, but this way he exposed his engine heat to the F-5 Sidewinder missiles. Ashinafi launched the missile, but as it was too close to the MiG, it missed. A scissors maneuver then developed, and two pilots crossed above each other 3 times. Ashinafi was able to fire his cannons each time. The third time, Somali airplane went down and hit the ground. Ashinafi probably managed to hit the cockpit. This was the second kill for the Ethiopian pilot. His first was covered in a previous video, and you can click on the recommendation link to watch it. In the meantime, Lagesse Teferra exploited superior turning abilities of his F5 and launched a Sidewinder at the Somali MiG-21 he was fighting. It was a direct hit. This was Lagesse's final kill, and also the final confirmed kill for the Ethiopian Air Force in this conflict. Somalis didn't try to challenge the Ethiopian air superiority after that moment, and this proved to be the decisive factor of the war. As for Lagesse Teferra, for him the war ended on the same day he scored his last victory. After returning to Dire Dawa Air Base, he took off on another mission. He was covering a Canberra bomber by flying ahead of it on low level. While over territory believed to be under Ethiopian control, he came across an advancing Somali column and was hit, probably by a Shilka self-propelled gun. He managed to eject from below minimum recommended altitude, but survived uninjured nevertheless. The area was full of dangerous animals, and the local population wasn't friendly towards Ethiopian military. He climbed a tree, and after about an hour saw an Ethiopian helicopter. He fired a flare, but he wasn't observed. Next morning, he was found by some women who took him back to their village and offered him food. However, they were wives of insurgents fighting against the Ethiopian government, and Lagesse Teferra was soon captured by Somali army. He spent the next 11 years as a prisoner in Mogadishu. After returning to Ethiopia, he was promoted to brigadier general and decorated with highest awards, but in 1991, he was forced to exile after a regime change. He died in Washington, D.C. in 2016. Even though he was only half a kill away from being officially an ace, he was nevertheless the most successful African jet fighter pilot. If you liked the video, don't forget to press the like button. Join our Patreon supporters to ensure the future of the channel, and keep watching Showtime 112.